Did you know that the number 5 clearly has hidden significance for Luc Besson and appears repeatedly throughout the film? Evil awakens every 5,000 years. The number of elements is 5. The bomb countdown stops at 5 seconds before the explosion. The Mangalores start their countdown from 5 seconds. More interesting facts about the movie The Fifth Element are in this video. Although this film was released back in 1997, many still remember it as one of the best sci-fi films in history. With this comedic action film, Luc Besson made a strong impression at the Cannes Film Festival, bringing even more recognition to his cast. Bruce Willis and Milla Jovovich did an outstanding job. This film is still enjoyed and rewatched with great pleasure, though it contains some funny little details almost no one notices. When The Fifth Element hit the screens, it became a cult sci-fi movie for many generations. It held the title of the most expensive film in French cinema history. Luc Besson received $90 million to produce it. And what's particularly impressive is that every dollar is visible on screen. The language spoken by Milla Jovovich's character was invented by Luc Besson himself. Of course, the actress added her own improvisations. By the end of the filming, she and Besson could freely chat in this invented language, much to the crew's amusement. The explosion in the main Floston Hall was the most powerful indoor explosion in cinema history at the time. Lilu's full name is
Good.
At the beginning of the film, each hieroglyph has 5 lines, but Lila's tattoo has 6. Love through life is the 6th element. This detail might seem like a blooper, but it actually ties into the film's deeper message about the 6th element being love. The film's timeline is calculated incorrectly. The movie starts in Egypt in 1914. Then it jumps to the year 2263. That's a total of 349 years, even though the titles claim that only 300 years have passed. It's a funny oversight. The scientist, judging by the thick lenses in his glasses, seems to have serious vision problems, yet he can create a person in the lab practically out of nothing. Or maybe it's just a quirky fashion statement. Many of the Mangalores who staged the massacre on Floston Paradise wore special combat protective goggles. This was done to hide the actors' eyes visible through the masks and to save on makeup and special contact lenses. Of course, for Milla Jovovich, The Fifth Element was not her film debut. At the age of 13, she had already appeared in the movie Two Moon Junction. And yet, The Fifth Element became and remains Milla's defining film. She landed the role only after her second audition attempt. In fact, 3,000 other candidates were considered. After filming, she quickly married Luc Besson but divorced him just as quickly 2 years later.
What do you mean?
Luc Besson loves Star Wars, so much that he included a few references to it in this film. According to the script, Chris Tucker's character was originally named Locke Road instead of Ruby Road.
How was it?
This name can be found in the book based on the film. When Corbin is fired from his taxi job, you can see the word ZORG. This implies that Corbin worked as a taxi driver for his future enemy. When we first see Corbin Dallas on screen, the calendar in his room shows the date March 18th, 2263. March 18th is Luc Besson's birthday. When the president gives Priest Cornelius 20 seconds to express his thoughts, he manages to deliver his ideas exactly within that time frame. Originally, The Fifth Element was conceived as a trilogy, but during pre-production, Besson decided to combine all 3 parts into one. By the time of the film's release, the cost of creating the special effects reached $80 million, the highest in cinema history at that time. The movie turned out bright and life-affirming not only because the script required it. Besson was determined to avoid the endless dark corridors and tunnels typical of sci-fi, especially space and dystopian genres. He insisted on bright and glowing sets and locations. The brighter, the better. The sign on the McDonald's train, which the police car crashes into, reads, "Serving 65 trillion people." The parasites cleaning the spaceship chassis before the flight to Floston Paradise are boglins, popular toys from the 1980s. Gary Oldman agreed to act in the movie without reading the script. It was a favor to Luc Besson, with whom he had become friends during the filming of Leon. The painting, The Broken Column, by Mexican artist Frida Kahlo, served as inspiration for Jean-Paul Gaultier in designing Milla Jovovich's costume. The role of the unlucky robber who tries to rob Corbin Dallas' apartment was played by Besson's close friend, director Matthew Kassovitz. He's known for work such as La Haine, The Crimson Rivers, and Gothica. Interestingly, the main hero Corbin Dallas, Bruce Willis, and the main antagonist Zorg, Gary Oldman, never meet in the film. Moreover, they don't even communicate indirectly. In one scene, they miss each other by just a second in a corridor. From the very first viewing, every other viewer asks the same question. Who actually performed the opera aria of the alien diva Plavalagina? And what is this aria? The answer is simple yet surprising. Plavalagina first performs an aria from Donizetti's opera, Lucia di Lammermoor. The second, more modern part of the composition was created by the film's composer, Eric Serra. The aria was performed by Albanian soprano Inva Mula. Her voice was significantly processed to achieve characteristics beyond human capabilities. Inva had to not only sing the song, but also record each vocal note separately so sound engineers could manipulate them as needed. Luc Besson stated that casting Bruce Willis was the easiest part of the film. Besson traveled to New York, where Willis read the script. 2 hours later, he agreed to the role. The Fifth Element was selected as the opening film for the 1997 Cannes Film Festival. Initially, Milla Jovovich's hair was dyed bright orange, but since the dye washed out quickly, they had to make several red wigs. Mel Gibson was considered for the role of Corbin Dallas. Jean Reno was another potential candidate for Corbin, but producers from Columbia Pictures insisted the role go to an American actor. Corbin Dallas lived somewhere in Brooklyn. You can see this behind Mr. Kim's flying boat. During the scene where Leeloo falls into Corbin's taxi, Besson didn't warn Willis that Milla would be speaking a strange language. Willis's surprise was genuine. In terms of the number and complexity of special effects, The Fifth Element was a record holder for European cinema. Incidentally, the production was handled by Gaumont, a studio with over 100 years of filmmaking history. In the 1950s, the studio was responsible for films like Fantomas, La Chèvre, and The Tall Blonde Man with One Black Shoe. Luc Besson wrote the original script while still in high school. He created the story and invented the world of the film as a way to escape his lonely childhood. He started writing the script at 16. Although the movie premiered when he was just 38, he had spent more than 2 decades dreaming of it. He made the protagonist a taxi driver as a nod to his father, who worked a second job as a taxi driver. Almost all of Luc's films feature a taxi driver to honor his father's memory. At the beginning of the film, Gary Oldman's character quotes Nietzsche, "That which does not kill us makes us stronger."
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Coincidentally, Bruce Willis once recorded an album with the same title. Luc Besson said in several interviews that the fifth element represents life, love, and art, with the fifth element being a symbol of life. That's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more fascinating videos. Thanks for watching, and let's enjoy great movies together.